is Fabian. I'm going to tell you a little story about myself and kind of why I chose to go along the path that I did. About 4 years ago, I was diagnosed with sciatica, and I was on my way to the doctor in the passenger seat, and it was a pretty traumatic ride for me. And then when I get to the doctor, they give me some pain medicine and everything, and they do an MRI. Come to find out, and my back's wrecked. T1, T3 are compressed. L1 and L3 are compressed or decompressed, and L5, S1, S3 are all degenerated. And there's a couple of options. They can do surgery, fuse the ones that are degenerated together to where it's no more bending over anymore, touching your toes like you want to. So that was kind of out the question. Next thing was injections up to 3 times a year. $750 a pop, by the way, which is nice. Yeah, and they might not work. So, but they might work. You don't know, and it might take 3 times for them to work within a year. So you might have some relief for a couple months and then have to go back, and a couple months again and have to go back. But then you're gonna have to repeat the process again. So you're pretty much paying $22.50 a year for the insurance company to pop you full of some drugs in your spine. Again. It's like an epidural. You know, one little wrong move, it could be a wrap. But anyways, so, or painkillers the rest of your life, you know. Oxycontin 80s is what I was prescribed. Gabapentin, which is a nerve painkiller, if you've ever had that. It's supposed to block the nerve receptors so that the pain doesn't make it all the way up to your brain. That's very interesting because you should check out the side effects on that. The list that it helps is so short in comparison to the pages of side effects that you could perceive from it. So steroids and anti-inflammatory, basically ibuprofen, 800 milligrams. All that 4 to 6 hours, every 4 to 6 hours, or as needed for pain. It's awesome. So I decided, well, since my job requires me to stand up a lot and do a lot of walking and talking to people and that, and bend over occasionally, I'm gonna have to take the best route I think possible. I don't want to be on drugs all the time and walking around. So I opted for the steroid shots, and there we go. So I went through the first one, and in about 3 days it seemed like, hey, I was feeling all right, a little something, I could walk around, and then it just like it's that gone. Man, so I called the doctor. He says, don't worry, remember I told you could take up to 3 times. So let's schedule another one. Let's get that $750 up front out of you. let's get it going. So we do it again. Okay, this time it probably lasts 4 or 5 weeks, and during this time, the gabapentin that he'd given me is giving me headaches. Like, wow, it's just unbelievable headaches. I felt like I was in a tunnel a lot of times, and my hearing was always a little messed up. So after the second round, and I went back to him because now it's like, oh man, my hands are going numb. There's all kinds of things going on that didn't go on the first time. And he said, well, there might be something else going on. So they took a I guess a vertical view of my spinal cord, and you can see bone spurs coming up in it that were actually pushing along the spinal cord. So sometimes my hands would go numb, or my legs would go numb, hell, my knees would go gone, and I'd just fall to the ground. So he's like major surgery, disability, pain pills, pain management doctor, rest of your life. So here we go. Back to the Oxy 80s and all that crap. Feeling like a damn zombie. Irritable. Cuss everybody out. Did not like myself, much less anybody else. So I started looking for some alternative stuff. I went to yoga. Got on some stuff, Zeal. I tried vitamins. And then I watched a documentary called The Scientist of the grandfather, Dr. McLuhan, who is the founder of THC, and explains about the CBD, CBBGs, and all this stuff. Well, comes to find out that in the THC and the cannabis, the bad stuff everybody is talking about, the CBG actually degrades bone and rebuilds bone. So when Smokey and Friday says weed is from the earth, God put this here for you and me, well, he did. He doesn't do anything wrong, so everything here is perfect. The only thing that's wrong is the stuff that we alter. Alcohol's not natural, cocaine's not natural, heroin's not natural, pain pills are not natural, antibiotics are not natural, steroids aren't natural. All of that is unnatural, and a plant is natural. You can eat it and feel the effects of it. It has numerous effects. So I started my regimen, and after 22 months, I'm not saying that the weed was the cure-all or anything, or cannabis as I'm going to call it, because I don't like that term. It's not a weed. It's nothing that's shouldn't be here. Okay, it's a beautiful plant, and cannabis can cure more people than it will ever harm. So I went on my regimen for 22 months. After that, I went back to the doctor. I can actually wake up in the morning and hit my CBD pen a couple times, bend over and touch my palms on the floor. Couldn't do that taking Oxy 80s or the Presidone or the Gabapentin or the Motrin, but I sure would be messed up and grumpy all day. So after a while of doing this and having to go do things I didn't want to do and meet people I didn't want to meet, my buddy tells me about this opportunity with Cannabis, that I can actually get a medical prescription from a doctor from from California, and it would be legal in Texas for me as long as I became part of a collective called Cannabis. And there are a few little caveats to that that'll explain everything of why it is, and we have videos that will do that for you. But it's a great opportunity. It's the only time I actually get to sit here and make a logical choice without having to look over my shoulder and worry, hey, is the door fixing to get kicked in, or is this going to be any good when I get home? Is it going to help me? How is it going to help me? I mean, what's the THC level? What's the CBD levels? I mean, what's the plant produced for? He doesn't know that. I have the opportunity to look at here and see a sativa, an indica, a hybrid. I can take a chance and go with some edibles so I don't have to smoke it, which is very nice if you don't want to do that. And it's a great pain management thing. I'm not saying that it's a cure-all for everybody, because as you'll see, there's 9% of the people in the world that have an addictive trait and cannot handle the psychotropic part of the cannabis. So I just ask you to take my story, think about it, think about the other people that you know somewhere, that are on opiates. Remember, that's a poppy seed that is processed into something that our body cannot absorb and will not absorb. That's why we get messed up, and there's no beneficial effect to it. I mean, people don't smoke cannabis and want to go jump off a building. People don't smoke cannabis and pick a fight with everybody. People don't smoke cannabis and go and kill other parents, by driving a car, killing whole families. It's alcohol. Happened to me. So, if you drink and you're talking, oh, he's terrible, then guess what? You're a hypocrite, and just hit the delete button and forget about me, okay? And I ask you to look at this with an open mind and a heart and see, this is my story. It's how it helped me. It might not help you, it might. Opiates may have already taken everything you've had and given you nothing. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't going to give them the chance to do that to me. I've seen it happen to too many of my friends, and it wasn't going to happen to me. So, I thank you for taking this time to listen to my story. Those of my friends that know me know that this is 100% true. And the ones that know me know where I live at and what I do. And I'd like to think that it's not what everybody says that it was. I ask you to really watch a documentary called The Scientist, the grandfather of THC, by Dr. Meckelham, and get some information in you and make a logical decision. Don't let the government tell you that this is the pill that you need today to cure your ailments that you have now, because tomorrow the side effects from that pill will be tomorrow's ailment, okay? So just remember that. As long as I got you coming to me every day for something to fix what I gave you yesterday, you're going to be here every day. Why not take something and get off everything and be a normal producing human? I mean, please. It's the right thing to do. I ask you to hit the like button, subscribe, go to get420legal.us, totalhealthcbd.com. Check us out. Keep an open mind, and I love you from the bottom of my heart, and keep thinking, always do great things. Thank you, and have a great day.